I made these two fun, scrappy art journals out of this magazine. I cut the magazine in half, turned the pages over, and here are two art journals. Join me for the flip through. Thank you for joining me. I'm doing a flip through of both of these altered scrappy magazine art journals. They're everything in here. This one is dedicated to my sketches and portraits. I'll share that with you first. It's not completed. There are some pages in the middle. And a lot of this is done with my car art. I will draw faces or whatever comes to heart. And I'm using this half of the magazine. I stitched around my front page and my back page. And I like to name my ladies or gents. Some of them are done right on the page. I also do this before I go to bed at night. My little wind down. It's very inspiring to me at that time. I'm also using scraps in here. This is a drawing from a photo that our daughter took near her home of an owl, so I called him Hootie. And some of these are started as mistakes, but I kept going, and I'm leaving them in here because it shows progress and authenticity. Some of them do not have portraits on them. This lady looked like a Mara to me. I don't know why. And then I used some of my scraps in here and just did some journaling. Betty. This lady here I had done when I was inspired by Lynn, and, you know, just to try, practice our faces or practice anything in your art. And I drew this, and she was drawn on in January, but put onto the page April the 2nd when the Artemis 2 was launched on April 1st. And then this part of the word was on the page already, and it just sparked me to call her Artemis. Some of these are altered faces, paper dolls. Tried to date most of them. And I also tried to put down the date that I drew them, and then maybe the date that I put them in. Some of the faces have certain looks, so I added a little blurb. This girl, and I tried to draw a hand, but I'm not very good at drawing bodies. Well, even the faces are. My neck is too long, too big, but it's all for fun. Nothing real, nothing perfect. So she was a cheerleader. I called her Miss R Blue. Some of them are very moody. This page isn't really done. I had stickers, so I put them on here. Scraps on here. I used a pocket that I received. and added scraps, added some of my laminated items and did some journaling. I made it into a journaling spot. Not complete. Turned some of our granddaughter's art into a hidden paper clip. Tried to draw a profile, another hidden paper clip. It's holding a couple pages together that need to be finished. Some in the middle here. Thought I'd share it with you anyway, because I'm almost done. This is Foxy on the floor. There's a bunch of knots and wood grain. When I look at it a certain way, it looks like a fox. I tried to replicate that, and that's what I got. And I called her Foxy on the floor. And first I thought I was a little bit woohoo out of there, but I have confirmed that these knots and marks in the floor by my family members, and when they look at it the way I look at it, they can see it too. Made nice. Well, this one here is also another paper clip, and I haven't finished it. My last page has this lady. I had the head just on a scrap piece of paper and another scrap, so I put her on there just like that. And that's my sketches and portraits, half of the magazine. And this is my completed flip through of my arty, scrappy magazine. I added one of my boho beads that I had made. I also added a scrap piece of fabric that was left over and covered the back. More lace or crochet doily. Last minute thing that I did, because I needed to close it, is I added some of my elastic ribbon, put a little eyelet in here, and all scraps. All odds and ends. Some of my pages are painted. Some of them have a little extra sparkle. I used up a lot of the ends of my bottles in here. So this one began January 2026, and it's finished now in July. Just finished it. And I do have some faces in here too. Little envelope. Notes to myself. And if you have been here for a little while, you will probably see images, scraps from other projects. I like to reinvent the same pictures or the same things that I've done and put them in a different way. Digitals that I had printed and in my files had been lingering for a while. Scraps. Most of the pages I have dates, but some of them I don't. Because like June 11th, I think I did these together. Probably because I have the same scraps. And every page has a little bit of texture on it. This one I kept very neutral, but I did a lot of journaling. All from magazines, brochures, odds and ends from different projects, snippets, and this is the card from Lynn's fun pack that I had cut and put on here. Things that these colors in the rug advertisement on the magazine sparked this color play. And here's more toilet roll that I had cut up. I had these little circles in my pile for a while, so I put them on here. I squished them down. And my quote, "Don't just stop to smell the roses, smell all the flowers." I made that quote up a couple years ago. I used some of my lacy paper receipts, lacy paper. Some of my denim, little envelope up here. Made some pockets. I'm also in here, I used some of my items that I had made. Ephemera, I said it here, using ephemera made years ago. And I thought, you know, it's time for me to put a home. They're in here. Of course, nothing here goes together, but I love all the things. My eyes are just having a feast. Made a tag. Life is life. Used my snippets, my ruffles, my snippets, all kinds of fun, scrappy ephemera. This one was made in the evening. I had this schoolhouse sticker, scrapbook papers, these two, and I cut them all up, added some paint, cut out a butterfly. I made this into a little window and then added some sparkles, color, and some journaling. Odds and ends. This was also from Lynn's pack. It did make it into my heart journal. That one's coming next. But I put it in here. I wanted to keep the original handwriting and the year. And I had cut out a lot of things, but I put them all together. I put everything plus the kitchen sink. Here's the kitchen sink. This one was made in March. A little piece of this dragonfly, and I added color to the page and then splotches just to blend everything in and make it so that it looks like it's part of it. I like the way it's fun to experiment with these kinds of ideas. You can't go wrong. This is a complete mess. Made this July 4th, and I guess it kind of looks like a little explosion of an explosion in the sky. I had all these dots that I had cut out. This was the leftover from this page. I didn't want to waste it, so I punched out a bunch of circles, cut out some hearts, and peeled them on here. And then I added some pencils and oil pastels. I just kept going, splashed some gold paint, made some dots. It doesn't look like anything, but I love the way it's just fun for me. This has a video to it, and I will share that. From one of my old newspapers. This is Maggie Clark, and this is George Washington Johnson. They were a young, in-love couple. It was an article in the paper, but I didn't do anything with the article. I just took their pictures out, added some more scraps, washi tape onto this painted page. A lot of my pages were already painted and already had the surface prepped, so I continued with adding things. More journaling on my snippet roll. Another girl that I drew, her name's Dee. Some fun old leftover rhinestones from the dollar store at least 10 years ago. Many more. There's Val. I have a video for that. And this was the very beginning of this scribbles and paint, magazine cutouts. I asked myself, why? Well, I don't know. It just felt good. And I like number 10. More magazine. I made some Franken papers with odds and ends and sewed them together and put them on here. Use what you have. You do not have to go out and buy anything. And if you're, let's say you're camping or you're traveling and you really want to do some art, always be adventurous and stay fresh. See you really soon.